What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brennan and I'm BT16, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have our market analysis for the Digimon TCG like we do every Friday here. Well, mostly every Friday, sometimes Saturdays, but mostly every Friday. We are here to look at prices, look at the market, look at things that are changing, talk about what you should sell, what you should maybe buy, things you might want to keep an eye out for. As always, we try to do this as best we can and be as informative as we can. So I always appreciate the comments, you guys telling us what you think. If there's other things that you guys think we should be including on this, I just try to pick a wide variety of stuff, including things I think are going to be hot items into this format, as well as leading into the next format, which is actually coming up really quickly with the X6. And hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of fun. Without further ado, let's get into it. We have our Event Pack 6 cards. I wanted to do the regional Wave 2 participant cards, but they're not up yet. They're kind of selling for around like 15 bucks each for, I think, most of them, maybe a little bit more for some of the more sought after ones. We have here again, looks like things have changed. Dark Knightmon was actually quite low, and it's back up sitting around $23. So it's even higher than Belphamon. It's funny, I just got my event packs from Play TCG and I pulled a bunch of stuff. Like I pulled a second Imperial Dramon. I still haven't pulled a single Belphamon, but I've pulled 5 of the Rise Greymons. So I don't need any more Rise Greymons. So hopefully I don't see any more of that guy. But everything else I kind of have a nice spread of 2 to 3. I think I only had 1 Panjamon. And then no Belphamon, so that's interesting here. But like looking, Belphamon's still 16, so he's not terrible, but he's still one of the highest priced cards. He was the highest priced card because Dark Knightmon was lower than this, but I don't know why it's exploded here. Everything else is just under 10 bucks, under 5, mostly under 5 bucks too. So you can probably get it for a really good price, really steal. Anyways, so that's it for our event packs. Let's go on. I wanted to bring up Omnimon, serialized Omnimon. I almost got top 8, one more win, and I might have been able to make top 8. It might have taken not my ties being wins or one of my ties not being a win. But yeah, so I could have potentially seen a serialized Omnimon, which would have been really cool, really awesome card. It's going for like 3. There's no real sales data because I guess a lot of people aren't selling these, or they're not selling on TCG. It's going for like 3K. That's huge. That's a huge to get serialized Omnimon. That's pretty cool. So that would have been a cool pull. So hopefully for you guys who do have serialized Omnimons, hopefully you sell it, or if you want to keep it, I mean, I think that's cool too. Magnamon alt is coming down. It's kind of gone past that 120 mark. We're seeing a low of like 108, 110. Last sold 115. So, and there are a couple selling for a lower price. So it's coming down. So I potentially see that this card could come under 100. We might need another couple weeks. We might need to be into EX6 for that to happen, but I think it's going to come down. And then here, when we look at the other Magnamons here, see 63, that's kind of holding around the same because it was like 66, 70 to 75 at its high. So the regular art's really not coming down. The alt came way down. Some of these old ones are still, I mean, this is still 5 bucks. That's still around 35 to 40. There's still a lot of cards. I love how this thing's kind of gone down because no one uses it. But everything else, even the champion ones, like 40 bucks now. This has come way down, probably because of this, but still higher than the champion version. Still 60 bucks. It's come down like 10, 15 bucks, I think, from its high. But yeah, I feel like this might be market manipulation right here. I mean, it's sold for, 800, 740, 845. So, and this guy's selling it for 600. So, I mean, hey, it's, if you want one of these, it's definitely coming down. That's good. It's good. The Magnamon. Valk Ace, one of the most sought after alternate arts, for the set. Continuing to rise. I think it's come down, but it's still on an upward trajectory from wherever it dropped. Looking at 40. I've seen people buying it for like 55 and stuff like that. So I've seen like that happen, but it's come down. So it's sitting at that $40 range, which is nice. So I'm really like that, and hopefully it goes down a little bit more. But it's one of those sought after cards, so it might actually maintain a value of $40. So this might be something you either got to decide if you're willing to deal out the $40 on or not. Another good ace card, Vikemon. He's not doing as good. He's not as sought after. So these are cards that'd be easy to pick up here. You probably get them for like between 10 to 15 bucks. But they're going for 16 right now. Yeah, last sold 17 bucks. Not bad for an alt. So that's pretty good. Another really highly sought after alt is the Digimon. Probably the best DNA Digivolve in the set. Super good. It's continuing its upward trajectory, so I mean, I would sell if you have copies. I would continue to sell. Right now you can get 60 bucks for it. That's a pretty good price for a level 5 DNA Digivolve. So I think eventually this is going to crash. I don't know how Imperial Dramon's going to do into EX6 or into BT17. Could still be really good, but Imperial Dramon's one of those decks that definitely always has kind of like a best before date, where it's just not as aggressive. So I mean, I think this will hit down. We have Imperial Dramon Fire Mode. This isn't too bad of a card. Ace. It's kind of seeing a downward trend here. It was up, selling for like 28, but you can get copies for around 20, 25. So I think this is a card that'll come down, be around a $20 card. It's good. It's just not as good as the Dramon, obviously. And like looking here, looks like the alternate art BT12 version is actually selling for more than Ace. And this is something you play like one of in the deck. I mean, most of the times. So yeah, and you got like the other versions and stuff like that, but like, yeah, you're looking at that, and I love how these crashed again now that this is all over with. But yeah, so you have your fighter modes, and that's ending up being more valuable, I guess, in the long run here. We have Davis and Ken, again, another super good, dual tamer. They play cards for free. They gain memory, and trash Digivolution cards, which is huge. So again, this is like a pretty sought after card. This is continuing like the Dramon to gain value here. You see it selling for almost $70, even when the price sitting at 55. So people are buying this card. It's really sought after. So this is a good time to sell this card, because eventually, like I said, it will have that point where it's like, okay, this deck is this deck is not, the best deck anymore, or one of the best decks, and it's going to get power creeped, which is what kind of happens to Imperial Dramon a lot. So it has its kind of finite time, whereas other decks kind of don't. So, I mean, other cards that aren't really seeing super play but are continuing to maintain value is Dorumon. I know it shows a downward trend, but this card's been staying up there. I mean, like it was up by like $35, $38, but it's really only lost like $8 in the couple weeks we've had BT16 now. I mean, it's almost coming up. We're 10 days away from being a month away from the release of BT16, and this card has still only lost $8 in value. So, I mean, this is a card that it's probably going to go down. I'd probably sell it right now. I'd wait for it to like hit $20, but it's taking its time, which is kind of weird because it's not, as far as I know, it's not seeing play. Another card too is Tabor Kosuke. He was only up about $30 ever at its height, and he's really only come down like $5, $5-6 too. So again, it's a good dual tamer, piercing blocker, and it's on any X-Antibody. It's a memory tamer as well, so it's super important. Yeah, it's and it goes on SOC too, so it's good in your Digimon deck. But yeah, so this is another one that I think it's eventually going to come down. It's taking its time. It's starting to plateau here too, so it might stay around that $20 to $25 mark. So Metal Greymon BT10 is climbing here, probably because of the win of Blue Flare in one of the regionals. We'll see if it continues to climb. Maybe if someone else tops in this week's regionals, we'll see this climb a little bit more. We're seeing $35. I think it could get up to $40 if people continue to take Blue Flare and win with it. I think it definitely see it hit 40. There's only a few listings too, because this is an older card, and then it jumps up to like 40, 45, and then nuts. So I could see a buyout happening on this, definitely. So if you get ready to sell, maybe, or maybe buy a couple copies and then resell, so it'll be good. And then Magna Angemon Ace, of course, still doing strong. Still nice to see it under the $100 mark, but it still kind of last sold was 107, so it's still in that 100 to 110 range. There's a couple copies for 90. You're looking to max rarity your deck. I think you're not going to see this card ever drop lower, really much lower than this. You might be able to get it for a little bit cheaper, but I don't think you'll see it drop. It's been kind of in that range for a long time now. Yeah, there's April, right? End of April. And it jumped. So, I mean, unless this card gets hit, I don't see the value going down. I really don't. And the same goes for this card too. Unless this card gets hit, I think it's always going to kind of flock around that $35 to $50 range. Really exploded back in May, and then slowly coming back down. But I mean, I don't see it going too much below maybe 45. So definitely a good time to sell, I think, this card if you don't think you're going to need it. But I think as long as Yellow continues to use multiple copies of this and the Angemon, they're always going to be hard sought after cards. Rune Mode, just another great card for a lot of decks, including Vaccine. Still up there, $90. I think the $80 for the regular heart, it's like $10 disparity. And it says it's come down. It has, but it hasn't really come down by much. They're still selling for easy $90. And then here, like, you're up to $100, not too far after that. Looking at Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid's still doing really great. This is on an upward trajectory, and that could just be because Red Hybrid's always really good because of the Ukomons, or it could even be because it could be because of the whatchamacallit, the BT16 support, where we're going to get more hybrid stuff, which of course has Ancient Greymon in it. But then in BT18, we're getting more Emperor Greymon stuff. So this could just continue to be on the rise because this is a deck that always does well in tournaments. It's $30, so it's not too bad. And there's lots of copies to be had before it jumps up there. So it could go up again. If this deck takes a bunch of spots at a tournament, I could see it going up. Flame Mons as well for the deck. That Flamemon's down to like $11. The BT17 Flamemon's more money. Of course, it's harder to get because it's an older alt, whereas this is still being distributed. But yeah, your tournament entry for Ultimate Cups is $15 at most. Yeah, it's quite low already. And then of course your top 64 Burning Greymon. This is if you want to get max rarity your deck, you need this Ultimate Cup version of Burning Greymon. It's not dropping. I thought it would. It's not. It's continuing to hold at that $150 to $165 mark, holding strong. You got last sales 170, 155, like the lowest in the last couple of days, and it just does not want to go down. This is probably one of the best value top 64 cards in a long time. in a long time. So, yeah, so. We have Rapidmon. Rapidmon's doing all right. We're seeing here the regular art's not too bad. It's under $40, but you're still paying $80 for the alt. So the alt's still pretty. I'd like to see the alt come down around $60. I think that would be the time to probably buy. But right now it's just, you got sales for $90 there. It's just not coming down. The armor cards are just too good right now. We got Shikuamon, another good DNA Digivolve card. This is one that if you want to pick up, this deck is actually really cool. And once we get Crimson Gallantmon, and some other cards and the Scramble cards, it can be really cool in the deck that I built. If you see my deck profile, I had to use other cards because we're a couple sets removed from that. But it's pretty cheap, $15 for an alt. I think it's like $1 for the regular. So, I mean, this is something that I could potentially pick up right now if you're looking for an interesting deck to play, especially with new cards come out. Let's say here, Mirai. We have new Mastimon stuff coming out. This is a card that's always good in Mastimon. We're getting another Mirai in Infernal Ascension. And, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I know looking at this. This is still an expensive card. It's always been an expensive card, but yeah, it's still like easily $40 last sold. Few copies and then you're up to $40. So I think this card could potentially see a buyout pretty quick. We have our Infernal Ascension pre-sales are already up. So there's no prices, but like they're all the majority of the cards are up. So it's kind of interesting. I also wanted to talk about Ukamon, but I think I lost my page here. Ukamon's still pretty expensive here. You look here, you got the $15 for that Tamer Party one. There's the cheaper copies right here of Ukamon, still within a couple bucks, and they're all just rares or promos. And then of course you got the alt Ukamon, which is still around $50. I thought it was dropping to like 40, but then it was kind of selling for 40, but it still kind of like bounces back up here with like, just because limited quantity copies. So it could be over 50. If a lot of Numamon decks win with 8 Ukos, cards probably going up. And then lastly, we have our fun card, which is Leviamon. Looking at Leviamon, both Leviamons are under $20. And I knew this was going to happen eventually. They'd hit under $20. They're both around $15. Because the deck's not seeing any play, unfortunately. But we'll see. Maybe the new Leviamon. I don't know if it'll have anything be playable with this stuff because it's all based around that 7 Demon Lords deck. But we'll see what happens in the future. But that is it, guys. That is the market analysis. Tell me what you guys think. Is there anything else I could add in? And what are you excited to see in the future? We will continue to provide these market updates, and we'll be into a new set soon. So we'll be doing market analysis on EX6 within 2 weeks now. So thanks for checking it out, guys. Looks like that's all the time we have for the video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.